everybody. Today's video, we're going to show you guys how we're going to turn this normal, ordinary 196, 212, 204, whatever size go-kart you have into a powerful wheelie machine. You're going to love it. So the first step for getting going on this project is we're going to jack it up, get it in the air, get the old clutch and chain off, and then unbolt the motor. Oh. Thank you. There's a frog in my shop. That's crazy. Did you tell him don't go in Daddy's shop? Don't go in Daddy's shop, Daddy. Now it's time to open up the new parts. They're gonna make all the difference in the world. So because I don't feel like disconnecting the throttle or any of the other jazz, I am just literally going to pick this motor up and set it off to the side. This particular go-kart has received quite a bit of mud in its life, so we're gonna make sure that all these holes are cleaned out so we don't bugger her up. The next thing we're gonna do is test fit this thing to the motor, see what the best angle is you can put it at, and then see if you can get it lined up with your chain and your sprocket on the axle. Got another one on right there. Another one on right there. Now you're going to want to see if your chain is going to line up with the other sprocket, and then you're going to want to see if you have clearance for your other clutch. Now this one's a little bit close to the tire right now, but right there is where it's going to have to be for the two sprockets to line up. And as you can see, my engine's hanging off a little bit, so I'm gonna have to make a bracket to move it over to the side, and then this is gonna be way too close to the tire. So I think I'm just gonna cut some square tubing and then makeshift some stuff to lift the engine up and move it over. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna slide out to the side, brush all that stuff away. You can see I got two little brackets. That one's gonna use the factory mounting hole, and then this is where your engine's gonna bolt down. The other one's gonna sit right about there. It's going to use the factory mounting hole. That's going to allow your engine to shift over about an inch and then push back. That wasn't tight enough. Minty. See, now I'm going to take these things back over here. Throw a couple nuts and washers back on them. Now, before we put this plate back on, this plate's going to be here and the chain's going to be going straight down. I also know that this plate's going to be relatively close to that bash bar, so I'm going to clearance some of this plate with a grinder, and I'm going to clearance out some of this. A lot of people will tell you not to cut the plate. I'm doing a budget build. I'm trying to make these go-karts into something more fun and functional for adults for less than $100, so I'm cutting the plate. Yes, everybody, I am wearing safety glasses. Boop. Hey-ya. And now we just gotta clean it up after we plug it back in. Ta-da! Oh, she might be a little toasty from all that grinding, so we're gonna pick her up with this. Maybe we'll try and find a puddle outside to splash her in. Be cool. Whoop, whoop. All right, we got the engine set back on there. We got the cover ground down about where it needs to be. I got the bolts back in these brackets, and I got one in the front just to kind of line up where we're gonna have to drill a hole in the frame here. So it is time to put this guy on and see how we're looking as far as lining up with the chain. This is where you got to make all your adjustments before you bolt everything down for the last time. So it's gonna be that guy, and then a washer, and then a sprocket. And right now we're looking like we're a little too far out this way. So we're gonna scoot her back in, straighten her back up, and there we have it. We are pretty well and centered on the chain. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mark where the engine's at on both these bars, and then we're gonna take the engine back off so that we can drill that final hole through the plate. See, now I've just loosened these guys back up, and I'm going ahead and dropping these bolts in here since, you know, I'm not gonna be able to put them on later. Oh. Ta-da! Then we can go ahead and put these two through here as temporary alignment pins and tighten back down those two bolts that we just loosened up. Now, I want to lift the engine up quite a bit, just so I got a lot of room to put the cover back on so it's not hitting on the tire, and get a little bit away from this because this rear arm does pivot and swing. So I am going to stack some nuts and washers on these guys and then snug them up, see where we stand. So for the quick and easy, you don't need a bunch of different tools and stuff, or you don't need access to a welder. This is the way that I will be raising the engine height on this one. Yes, I could build other brackets. I do have a welder. I could make something more solid than this, but I got an event coming up next weekend where all these go-karts are gonna have to be used for some shenanigans in my front yard. And this is how I'm doing it. Now, if you have someone else helping you, you don't have to do this next step. If you don't have access to a welder, you don't have to do this next step. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop a bead on each of these to hold them steady. That way when I'm hovering over by myself trying to set the engine down, none of this is going to move. If we did everything right, this guy should slide back over these bolts. Ta-da! It's almost like I've done this before. Almost. Are you gonna line up? Turder. We have it through all 4 holes, and our chain still lines up. Look at that. All right, everybody, good news. The Amazon delivery guy just left, and we got some new parts for this. We got some kill switches because all 3 kill switches are broke. And then we got a new chain, and then we got jet kits so we can put the intake side on too. And I can show you guys how to do that. This is a HDR heavy duty solid bush drive chain. Hey, look at that, it came pretty rusty a little bit. Nice. Definitely gonna be way too long and need trimming. It's looking like this one right here is gonna be where we need to break her at, everybody. All right, chain, you're coming with me. Chain break, chain break, chain break. Let's see if we can get this master link put in here. Sure. Might need some pliers. Hi. Hello. Nice. Kelly, bye. I can't get enough grip because of these darn tooting gloves. All right, hands, you're taking the L. Ha-ha. We got her, everybody. Right on. And now we snug up these back bolts. One snuggie. Wrong bolt for sure. Now we're on the right bolt. I might do better. She's still got just a touch of play. We're gonna have to adjust the washers a little bit and get rid of that little bit of slack. Otherwise she's gonna cause us some trouble. All right, everybody, some very minor washer adjustments, and there we are. A little bit of slack, but not too much. Let's get this joker slapped back together. Ow. She's gonna be mint. Cover, side cover. There she be. 2 bolts. Away she goes. 1, 2, we'll be rubbing on you. That's what we call that self-clearancing stuff. It's fine. I guess since we have our jets that showed up here today, we can go ahead and throw on those intake kits too. Woo! I'm excited for this part. Get that big shiny air filter on there. Really easy install. You don't even technically need to use the longer studs. I know you're supposed to. Alright, so step 1, make sure your fuel is turned off. Very important. And then you take this wing nut off the top, right? Take that off. Take off your second wing nut. All that grass in the air filter, that's good stuff. And then you take L impact with a 10mm. Hit them with it. Make sure to choke. It slid the choke on just so you got room to slide this guy off right here. This line you're not really going to need anymore. That's just an emissions line. So we're going to grab a flathead, pull that guy off. Optional. Alright, you're not going to need this gasket anymore. And normally I'd redo the jetting with the carb still on there, but just so I can show you guys, I'm going to take the carb the whole way off on this one. Pull this one clamp for your old fuel hose off, you know. I am going to use one of these studs to plug it so that I don't have to drain the gas. Use a screwdriver to pry the rubber hose up. Hopefully not put a tear in the hose. Yep, definitely just tore the hose. That fuel hose is soft, everybody. We're gonna slide it out, disconnect our throttle linkages. I'm gonna take it outside, dump out all the gas. That's your carb vent line right there, in case anyone was wondering where the vent line is on this carb. Now we got all the gas out. I'm gonna bring this over here. Use our patented impact hammer hand technique with the wrench. And then swapping out these jets is super easy, everybody. So this is thinner screwdriver, chicken dinner. Winter thinner, chicken dinner. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this jet out and pull out our emulsion tube. Come here, Mitzi. I know I threaded you the whole way out. Come here, Mitzi. Give her the old tap tap. Sometimes you gotta tap down to get the tube out too. There's your tube, and there's your main jet. These kits came with a better flowing emulsion tube, that's what that is. And then it came with multiple different jet sizes to pick from. Now, just because I've done enough of these, I know that usually a .036 or .037 is what you want to do. I'm going to start with a .036 and then go from there. Ah, there's a 3.6. Boom. There you have it, folks. Got all these people running around with not properly running machines because they put an exhaust and an air filter on it. And all you have to do, it's literally that easy. Just swap out one tube and a jet. I ordered these jet kits with the emulsion tube off Amazon. I think it was 10 bucks. Come on, people. If you're going to spend the 80 bucks on all the performance parts, why not spend the extra 10 bucks on making it run right? Time to go slap it back together. Slide her back on there. Get that throttle linkage hooked back up. Well, it's nice and easy to do so. Let's see what we can do with this fuel line. Hopefully there's enough of it left that won't leak its booty off. And this gasket goes on here next. This bracket is for holding down your choke lever so it doesn't fall off while you're driving. That goes on the back side of this here piece. Oh, that's good stuff. Yay, tiny Torx bit works for the W. I mean, you're definitely supposed to use an Allen on this, but I don't know where all my Allens are. You can probably find one. But as long as you don't go ham, you can usually use a Torx bit in place of an Allen. For the record, this is a T15. Just got that snug. Don't got the whole way torqued down yet. Because we gotta get this guy slid the whole way on here. Come on. There we go. She slid down on there. And like I said, I didn't even replace these studs. You can if you really want that extra, 2mm of thread. I've never had one nut back off, but personal preference for everybody else. And then we'll go ahead, we'll snug up that little Allen screw. We got working choke. Let's make sure the fuel's not leaking. If fuel's not leaking, all we got left to do is pop on the air filter, take this choker for a rip, see how our jetting does. Like I said, you can adjust that jetting with the whole thing still in the cart. You don't even technically have to take off the bolt. It's just one bolt, and then you put a screwdriver up through there. Oh, look at that. She's beefy, everybody. She got that big old race car air filter. She's ready to race. Clamp's not worth a dang, but you know what? For what we paid for it, she's doing great. All right, Time to push those other two out of the way. See how she runs. Seems like oil's pretty good, no choke. Get her back out of here. All right, now we're gonna see what she'll do. Make sure that chain's good. Let her in. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh yeah, she's a ripper for sure, everybody. All right, there it is. Same exact cart, same exact motor, $80 worth of Amazon parts. I'm gonna put the old footage on the left and the new footage on the right, and you guys can see the comparison between the two. Ready, set, go. Way too fast over those bumps. Did not lose the chain. Oh my God. Look at that brakes. So yeah, as you guys can see, she's an absolute ripper now. That's all it takes, everybody. $80 worth of Amazon parts. Just a little stage 2 kit and a clutch kit. A little bit of time and effort. You know, I'll round it up to $100 worth of stuff for the nuts, the bolts. If you didn't have tubing laying around on your shop, you know, I put a new chain on it. These things are going to be a blast next weekend. I'm having some go-kart races at my house next weekend. So obviously I got all 3 of them souped up now. They were too slow last year. You can put the same stuff on basically any 212 motor or 196 or 204, any of them. So get out there, spend a little bit of time in your shop, have some fun, go pop some wheelies on a go-kart. Until next time, if y'all would please like the video, subscribe, drop a comment. Heck, if this video gets enough attention, I'll do something crazy with all 3 go-karts. Maybe go mop the neighborhood, get McDonald's, I don't know. Until next time, everybody, I will be on my go-kart wheeling.